This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Did you know using your browser in incognito mode doesn't actually protect your privacy? Take back your privacy with IPVanish VPN. Just one tap and all your data, passwords, communications, browsing history, and more will be instantly protected. IPVanish makes you virtually invisible online. Use IPVanish on all your devices, anytime you go online at home and especially on public Wi-Fi. Get IPVanish now for 70% off a yearly plan with this exclusive offer at ipvanish.com/audio.
Well, I make no apologies for how it might go today. I'm on a heavy dose of what they call in the business prednisone, which is supposed to help you with inflammation of sorts, including hoarseness, your throat, my voice, which I still don't. I wouldn't classify it as 100%.
No, it's better.
I think it is better,
huskier
than it was. How it will hold up, and what impact taking this heavy dosage of prednisone might do to how I snap at any given moment.
For sure.
How I melt down. It's kind of an experiment in process to see how it goes. Because prednisone is a steroid, correct?
It is.
That's what I thought. And I have some experience with it for various reasons, including my ongoing battles with alopecia, which goes back many, many years. And then more recently with some rheumatological issues. But much lower dosage that I'm on here. Now, this isn't supposed to last long, but I guess what I'm trying to prepare people for. I'm not going to hold myself responsible for whatever comes out of my mouth today. That's all I'm going to say.
That's fair. Let's see it.
See how it goes.
Sounds like a challenge to the audience to try to get you going.
That's probably something.
Kind of what it sounds like 3 minutes in.
You might be right.
Bradshaw and Brian KFAN text line.
That's true. 64686, and perhaps some of you are on your way out of Target Field, where in the getaway day game between the Cubs and the Twins were unable to complete the sweep. The Twins are unable to complete the sweep. The Cubs win this afternoon. I think it was 8-1.
Correct.
Was the final score. And if you're on your way out of the building, you can perhaps give me some feedback on whether I was right, that it was going to be, in terms of Cubs fans versus Twins fans at the ballpark for this 3-game series. I predicted 4-1 Cub fans. Was it 4-1? It sounded like it today, but again, there wasn't a lot for Twins fans to cheer about today.
Correct.
So that's what makes it difficult. But even behind home plate, I felt like there were lots of Cub fans. That's what was interesting to me.
Well, they want to sit in the beautiful people seats, too.
I guess they do.
They're
but
available.
I thought, are they available?
Free food and drink back there? Are you kidding me?
But I mean, we don't hold on to those seats?
I mean, people have them.
Yeah.
StubHub, SeatGeek.
I see.
It's easy to sell. It's never been easier.
Yeah. Well,
so I'm guessing, wouldn't you want to sit that close if you could?
Yeah, that's very, very true, Dave.
It's probably hard to sit that close at Wrigley because those seats probably don't come available very often.
I would think not.
People
those are like family tradition. Yeah, those are like handed down from generation to generation, I believe is how it goes. Sunday Sermons is the name of the program. I didn't go with leader today because I still wasn't sure. I thought the voice might crack on that. We'll try to get back to that either tomorrow or perhaps early next week. It's a 3 to 6:30 program on the Fan. Bumper to Bumper is JG Gardsey, who was in this chair yesterday, back in the producer's chair today. And we are, I think, feeling pretty good about today's broadcast, which will include the emotional return of the big knocker. That's correct. Our guy, Mayo Clinic big knocker, Bill Maurice, back on the program for the first time in several months. And that is at 5 o'clock, correct? 5:02?
Yes, exactly right.
5:02 p.m. It'll be good to catch up with him. Perhaps he can give me some idea what these steroids might do in these dosages, mega dosages, as they say in the business. Now, this wasn't, I think you get bigger dosages via injection, right? These are pills.
Okay.
I'm thinking with injections, you can get even, I assume even more into your system quicker. So we'll see what information, because he's kind of this isn't his specialty, but he's capable of talking about just about anything when it comes to medical issues. So we'll talk about that and many other things with him at 5. I arbitrarily put the inbox at 4 rather than 4:30 via, that's what I wrote on my pregame tweet. So right now, tentatively scheduled for 4:02, movable, perhaps depending on other possibilities as well.
JG at KFAN.com if you want to get in.
That's a good
point. Got some good entries already. We can always use more. JG at KFAN.com.
Did I say Sunday Sermons was the name of the show?
You did.
Well, we may have seen our first effect.
Yeah. Today's Thursday.
No, Sunday Sermons would be generally on Sunday. And I am scheduled to be back on there this week, I think.
If not, we'll just re-rack the Sarah Spain interview.
Apparently very popular.
We'll play that again.
Very, very true, Davey.
That was just a minor speed bump, because I could have stopped you and said Sunday sermons.
Yeah. You could have. It would have been okay.
You're trying to get into the show.
Yeah.
You're under the weather. You're on roids. I don't need to call it 20 every time there's a minor slip up.
Prednisone side effects include raising blood sugar and sleep deficiency. I will tell you something that surprises people because a lot of people who've had to, for various reasons, take prednisone have not enjoyed the experience. It can be accompanied by weight gain, I know, irritability, lots of other things that people don't. They're doing it only because they kind of have to. And in my experience, I've never had up until now at least, bad prednisone experience. They've actually helped me. I have a tendency towards tension headaches. And when I've taken prednisone over the years, from time to time, those headaches have gone away. I don't know how it's related, if it even makes sense that it's related, that it's true. I've actually had more of a little bit of a bounce to my step on prednisone. Haven't gained weight dramatically when I've been on it as well. So it's interesting because, as I said, historically, I think a lot of people are like, no, I can't stand it. There's reasons why doctors don't just dispense it easily, allegedly, that there are side effects that concern them. I, fortunately, at this point, have not had to deal with many of those side effects to this point. Only a left-wing pinko couldn't handle prednisone. Cry away. That's from area code 858. I don't recognize that area code at all. Fallness, as in K-fallness. A hockey player would never let the sniffles slow them down. Hashtag hockey ambassador. First of all, I thought I was already stripped of that mantle, so I don't even know why you bother with it any longer. And believe me...
Should we block fallness, do you think?
Well, I've thought about it.
Yeah.
The sniffles really weren't what got in the way yesterday. I mean, I didn't feel very good, but as you know, in this business, people are kind of weird in that if you don't show up, they'll call you a wimp, as Kay Fallness just did. If you do show up and have a strained voice, they go, ugh, stop being a hero. Get off the air. This is painful to listen to. And it leaves all of us in kind of a precarious position in that regard. So yesterday, I didn't feel great, but I felt like, all right, I could muck through it that way, but the voice was almost completely gone. And at that point, on a radio show, I think most reasonable people will agree that can be problematic. That can be challenging to all involved, correct?
It can be. It can be very distracting. And you want to feel, 70%.
Yeah,
75%.
Very, very true, Davey.
San Diego County, California, the hills of Mount Helix.
San Diego
is who's questioning your man card bona fides.
I work downtown. Cub fans on 4th and Marquette outnumbered Twins fans 5-1.
Makes sense.
That's according to 612 guy. And there's already bitterness coming in about. There's such good ones here. There's a lot of bitterness coming in over the so-called mega U.S. Bank Stadium announcement.
Oh, yeah, one of the biggest shows in Minnesota history announcement.
Yeah, yes. And so I guess that's a subject I didn't even think we were going to need to explore in much detail, but we might want to spend some time on that subject as well. Chris writes, This is from 651 guy. Can you confirm Guardsy got the booster at least? I guess.
I've been boosted quite a bit.
That's a callback.
Not lately.
Dan's getting tested for PEDs after this show. I guess it's, well, I would flunk, I guess. But it is, so if in the heyday of the steroid usage among baseball players, right? I don't think were mega doses of prednisone at the top of the list of the steroids that were used, because I don't think it was.
Probably not.
Although I'm not a great steroid mind.
No.
I think that's the only one I've ever had administered to me is prednisone.
Yeah, I don't remember that ever showing up on the Mitchell report. What was the report called?
I think that might have been.
Yeah, there was
one of the baseball reports was a Mitchell report.
Yeah, the big report. I don't think that ever popped in, but I don't remember. It's a long time ago.
It is a long time.
Could ask A-Rod next time he's in studio.
Well, they're having their big coming out party in Vegas, correct?
Tomorrow, yes.
Are we playing right now? Because Johnny's been feverishly tweeting.
Yes.
And we already have an injury. Didn't our big man, our number one pick, hurt his wrist already?
Barreiro?
Yeah.
He did?
Well, I thought I read a tweet from him early that he went up to block a shot and ended up kind of messing. It kind of seemed like it seemed as if his wrist was bothering him.
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe it didn't sideline him. I don't know.
I didn't see that one. The reason it may be injured, though, is because all he's doing is blocking shots right now.
Is he dominating?
He had 5 blocks in the first 8 minutes of the game.
Oh, come on.
I'm serious.
How quickly can we trade Rudy?
Well, put him on ice is what I'd say. Get him out of summer league.
Yeah.
Let's not get him hurt.
More importantly to me is, how is the kid point guard doing? Because that's what matters.
Dilly right now has 6 points on 2 of 6 shooting, 2 rebounds, an assist, a steal, and a couple of turnovers in 10 minutes.
Oh, okay, that's not bad. Are we winning?
We are losing, I think, by 3 right now in the second quarter. Barreiro is back into the game. I just saw him here. I'm watching on ESPN, too. We're tied at 27 with 6:08 to go in the second quarter. But Barreiro is just deleting Pelicans' offense right now.
What did you say the score was?
27-27.
Somebody said, how about them Wolves 22-0 over New Orleans at the half?
They want to hit refresh.
Is that what it is?
I mean,
he mentions the 5 blocks, though.
Yeah, I'm looking at the game right now.
And how is the name pronounced? I've already seen it pronounced like 5 different ways. Our new center.
It's a great question.
Our new number 1 pick.
I've been going with Barreiro.
Not Barringer. Barringer.
Yes. But I don't know for sure if that's exactly how you say it.
All right. Well, we'll find out. There'll be plenty of time because we don't expect that he's going to be in the rotation immediately, do we?
Well, 5 blocks in 8 minutes?
You're doing it to yourself.
Just saying.
I mean, it's the first day of summer league. Do I need to mention Chris Webber?
Good luck.
Good luck. That's the beauty of it. We get to play that again this week.
Oh, that's right. I'll play that in the top 5. Oh, no, we don't have top 5 today, maybe, because of the knocker.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow.
We'll find it.
We have plenty of time to do it. I actually do want to talk a little more baseball when we come back. And interesting story with Minnesota Twins connections that I read via the Wall Street Journal today regarding ownership that raised a number of fascinating details regarding the relative worth of Major League Baseball teams to teams in several other sports, and whether it should once again open the door to what's supposed to be among the ball guys a verboten subject when it comes to Major League Baseball. We'll get to that after you try to put $1,000 in somebody's hand.
The Fan and BigDeck.com want to help you with that. Your shot to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. First keyword on this Thursday is credit. Go to KFAN.com and enter the keyword credit. It's game time, soccer fans. You can join us in Michelob Ultra for the Ultimate Club World Cup viewing party Sunday, July 13th. This Sunday from noon to 2 at the local downtown. Enter to win lots of great prizes, all while enjoying $4 Michelob Ultra Light pints. Don't miss out. See, it's a local, July 13th.
I was trying to get the the channel for our Summer League stuff, but this TV's all screwed up. We'll try to get it later in the break. Your Timberwolves youngsters in action. Is it the second half yet, or did it still halftime?
No, second quarter.
Second quarter,
Yep.
sorry. Oh, okay. So, yeah, I don't know
You've got time.
What's going on in here. For the record, it says 25-0 Wolves on the ESPN app. So they must be maybe there's a Wolves fan, and that might have something to do with it.
We're up by 1 with 4:05 to go in the second quarter, 32-31.
Regarding Juan Berenguer, our new shot-blocking center, he went up for a dunk, got blocked, fell, came up holding his wrist, but he has not. He's obviously continued to play.
Yeah, he's back in there.
He has been unbelievable. Dan, irritability, how can you tell it's from the prednisone? That's Mark from Lakeville. That came in actually later than I expected that it would. All right, baseball. So I mentioned Twins did not complete the sweep against the Cubs this afternoon. Cubs salvage a game 8-1 this afternoon just for fun. And although I think we're 4-2 on this homestand thus far, I believe that's our record. So we've shown a little sign of life more recently. And real quick, by the way, as an aside, maybe we'll get into it more later. Given I was just basically laying around, I had a lot of time to watch a decent amount of the Twins coverage, TV coverage, and the grand experiment,
yes,
which was that they were just going to use basically 3 or 4 analysts at a time. Then occasionally they had a guest. I think today was Terry Ryan for a while.
Oh, cool.
They had Pablo Lopez yesterday or the day, I think it was actually the first day during the first game. And I enjoyed it.
I thought it was great.
I thought it was. My fear was it was going to be too train wrecky. Like, well, nobody's kind of holding it together because even in that format, you kind of need somebody to hold it together. But I thought it sounded really good and relaxed and interesting. And let's face it. I mean, the truth of the matter is that maybe the Twins are about to, get back in it. But right now, there's not that much that matters. So it's not like you have to live and die with every pitch.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Exactly.
But I thought the mix they had was good. I thought it went much better than I thought it would. I thought it was a nice experiment, nice change of pace. I think Corey's back from his vacation for this next series, if I'm not mistaken. But I think they should be pleased with how that thing went.
Honestly, I think the whole Twins channel thing has worked out really well. I like what they do in-game most of the time.
Right.
Obviously, Provis is as good as it gets. Yeah, I like Plouffe. I like Marnozzi. Denard's fun when he mixes in there a little bit. And I did enjoy. I watched quite a bit of the first 2 games. I didn't watch much today. I was just anticipating Wolves Summer League action, so I didn't want to have too many distractions. But I thought Perk did a good job keeping the train on the tracks. Yeah. I thought he did a really good job.
Yeah, it was well done. And Plouffe is quirky.
Yes.
He kind of brings a little of that goofy stuff in, which is helpful.
I agree.
Because Mornozzi's Mornozzi.
Yes.
He's going to be pretty, close to the vest most of the time as well. That's the aside, though. The question of Twins ownership goes on. It's a subject that I know is near and dear to the hearts of many in this town who have turned on this current ownership and want very badly to see somebody else in charge. And the story just now got the attention, apparently, of the Wall Street Journal. And they kind of go through the history here that very few teams had Major League Baseball franchises had changed hands in the last decade. Leaving aside, there was the $2.4 billion purchase of the Mets by hedge funder Steve Cohen. And the feeling, according to this story, was that given all the gaudy numbers we've seen involving NBA teams, for example, that this was a good time to have a pro sports franchise for sale, that you were hitting the market at the right time. And as they note, 9 months later, there's still no buyer. And they lay out the story of the Ishbias, who seem to have some interest in the Twins, Matt Ishbia, I guess, and then come to find out that, well, I'm actually more interested Justin Ishbia.
Justin is the baseball
Justin's
brother.
the baseball
Matt
brother.
is son's guy.
And yeah, right. And I think Matt was going to be involved in it, but Justin was going to be the component. And he basically said, "Now I got ties to Chicago. I'm building a $1 billion home on the North Shore. So in fact, I think they're just going to rename the North Shore Ishbia.
Why wouldn't they?
North Ishbia. So I'm gonna end up owning the Chicago White Sox. He now has a deal in place to eventually become majority owner over Jerry Reinsdorf. And the story indicates that maybe we shouldn't be surprised that this sale is so difficult, has become so challenging, and that it may not just be a statement about this franchise and about the Twins. They quote the Atlanta Braves chairman, Terry McGurk. "It's no secret that we've lagged behind the other sports when it comes to selling for these increasingly astronomical numbers. Baseball teams typically valued at 4 to 9 times expected revenues," McGurk said, while NBA teams go for multiples of 10 to 15. Now, they note that the Dodgers and the Yankees are still the exception. Estimates there between $7 billion and $9 billion for those teams. And that's even greater than a number of National Football League teams. On the other hand, the Orioles, the most recent team to change hands, went for $1.725 billion. The Royals sold for $1 billion in 2019 to a local businessman. While the recent $10 billion deal inked for the Lakers and the $6 billion deal for the Commanders in 2023 set records, valuations have also been healthy for smaller market teams in those leagues. The Hornets went for $3 billion in 2023. The Broncos sold for $4.65 billion in 2022. And even the NHL's Tampa Bay Lightning sold for $1.8 billion last fall, slightly above the price that the owners of the Tampa Bay Rays MLB team are currently negotiating. They quote Manfred, the commissioner. "Where are we? Why are we where we are? And what can we do to fix our situation?" And then they lay out what are the economic conditions that are a part of this story that might explain some of these disparities. And they note that baseball has traditionally been far more reliant than other leagues on local television deals to drive revenue. That's been a major topic of conversation in this town. They note that the NBA and NFL derive much of their revenue from lucrative national TV deals split evenly among teams. In baseball, teams generate about 25% of the revenue on average from deals they strike themselves with local regional sports networks. The system means teams in bigger TV markets can command significantly higher fees, giving them resources to attract and retain star players. Then we get to the big part of this. No salary cap in baseball. And it's supposed to be like verboten to even bring it up. And I'm not here to try to start some kind of a labor war, but I'm going to throw out the question to you, and I'm going to throw it out to the audience as well. If my interest isn't what's best for the players, but what's best for growing, quote unquote, the game and creating what one might suggest is the greatest possibility of real competitive balance, isn't that the elephant in the room? Now, again, people will predict this is the third rail for the MLB Players Union has been the most powerful in all of sports. I'm not here to disparage that. And that would, any attempt, again, to try to go down a salary cap road when it comes to Major League Baseball would end in the ruin of the game, another significant work stoppage. And maybe, at least one of the times that happened, significant damage was done to the game on that occasion. But if you're just being honest about the direction this thing is going, and because what do we hear now more than ever? We've always heard, well, the big market teams have some advantages, but now that's gone to the 10th power as it pertains to the Dodgers, right? Especially the Dodgers.
Dodgers, Mets,
Yankees. Yep. And you go, well, how is this, in all honesty, sustainable for any long period of time. Now, the players, they may love it. I'm not here to try to take money out of their hands. What I'm just trying to evaluate is, without taking sides, what's best for the game itself, and to give the game of baseball, which is already kind of, I don't want to say dying, but fading.
Flagging.
It's definitely fading. The best chance to move forward and to stay somewhat relevant. And to me, that's the subject that needs to be restarted. Now, there's a lot of variables, again, that don't make this completely apples to oranges with other sports, having to do with, like I said, those regional TV deals, a number of other things as well. But as they point out in the piece, Dodgers are spending $500 million on their roster between payroll and luxury tax payments. The Marlins payroll of $67 million. I don't even remember what the Twins were this year. We were supposed to reward them for not going down again. I don't know exactly where we are at this particular point. Quote from Manfred, the commissioner: "We don't have the kind of cost certainty, predictability, and competitive balance mechanisms in our player comp system that the three other major professional sports have." That's just a fact. I'm not a big Manfred fan. His lack of creativity and imagination has been pretty overwhelming over the course of his tutelage or his run as commissioner. But I don't know how you argue with that. There's talk about trying to centralize baseball's media rights. Obviously, that would be the ideal. Is that possible? I don't know. I don't know if that's practical when it comes to Major League Baseball. The story notes, pooling media rights would require wealthy teams to share more revenue than they do now. A salary cap has long been seen as a third rail by the union, and a serious push for one would almost certainly result in a prolonged work stoppage. And the last time baseball's owners made a serious attempt, it resulted in the player strike that canceled the 1994 series and badly damaged the sport as well. I'm not here to say how difficult it would be to get it done, and I'm not even here to say that I have the formula. But the more you think about it, and the more you see, like I said, the range that's going on now that goes well beyond what it had been the previous 10 years, you say, what are we doing? Now, the comeback has always been from some of the higher ranking teams, the richer teams, is, man, we're already given a lot of the have-nots extra money. We've done more than we need to do. And they're not doing anything with it. There's too many teams out there that are in their own way tanking. And in this case, not tanking for a lottery pick, just tanking to tank. And so aren't you just enabling those underachieving ownership groups and franchises to go even further? Well, yeah, potentially. But what will change, obviously, with some form of a cap is that there would be limits to how many of the best players that come on the market that a given team will be able to grab onto and latch onto, correct? And presumably that means somehow, some way, some of those players are going to have to end up someplace else.
And the Twins, by the way, for the record, $145 million this year for total allocation. So they're 18th in baseball. Kind of second half, right towards the top of the second half, if you want to spin it positively. But the Dodgers, $337, and then you go down to the bottom, the Marlins are spending $67.5 million. Like, how does that make any sense? It really doesn't.
It doesn't.
And we do this every December, right, is when free agency starts, and then it goes, obviously, until pitchers and catchers report in February. But there's always like 3 or 4 days where 3 or 4 teams are basically doling out contracts for $500, $700, $1 billion all told, right? And that's what's crazy. And so, but I don't know, again, how you shut it down and how you fix it now. We're even seeing with the NBA, all the growing pains now with the second apron.
Yes.
That have completely eliminated a lot of money for a lot of different players because NBA teams don't want to pay anybody now because it's been so punitive. You can't pay everybody what you used to 10 or 15 years ago. And the players are probably they're finding out how bad that is for them right now. I don't know how you would ever get the players to agree to something like that.
And
on the fly, now that all this toothpaste is so far out of the tube.
Well, that's it, is that to save the game, might you kill it? If you really go to the war over, if you're the owners and go to war over that issue, Might you kill it? I don't know, but it feels to me like it's dying in its own way right now. Story concludes with aggregating media rights and creating a better product doesn't just improve outcomes for owners, said Zachary Pack, head of sports advisory at something called Merchant Bank, BDT, and MSD. Oh, my God. Whose co-CEO, Brian Trott, represented the White Sox in its recent sale process. It also benefits fans and players. And look, I'm not a naive. I'm not trying to put more money in billionaires' pockets. All I'm trying to evaluate this is on the basis of what, if you're the average rube, a fan, what gives the game the best chance to be more interesting to you? And maybe there aren't enough people who like the game of baseball enough anymore. That's an ongoing subject, which we've discussed in the past. But if some of it is this feeling of, well, yeah, it's so completely out of control in terms of, that disparity from a payroll standpoint, almost, there's at times where you go, how can you continue? How is this not a form of fraud that's being perpetrated on the public to think that, oh yeah, but they're all in the same league and they're all in the same sport and it's all, one big thing. You go, who are you kidding me? This is a joke. How do I take this seriously? And I think it's becoming harder and harder to do that. And again, I don't have all the answers on how you put it together because there's big differences between some of these sports that do have salary caps. But and you mentioned the NBA. The NBA salary cap situation has another problem in that you're now seeing teams, including the Boston Celtics, tear themselves up before they really wanted to. Championship teams out of necessity. Now, the break the Celtics got was their best player got hurt. And that actually probably made it easier for a year. Made it easier for them to say, all right, we got to get out of this second apron stuff.
Correct.
But the fact is that a large reason why they're doing what they're doing is that their owners have said, we're not going to keep spending this kind of money. And according to the man who runs the team, it was really more about also the lack of flexibility we have in the second apron when it comes to draft picks and moves, et cetera, et cetera. So, that proves that getting a cap isn't nirvana. There are times where you need to make adjustments within that. It's an ongoing saga, but at least in the NBA, you say, well, there's some effort to try to bring this into a situation where there's some chance for all the teams, all the franchises, if they're run well, like Oklahoma City has been, despite, the marketplace that they are, which is pretty low on the list, to compete for championships and then this last year win one.
But even them who have done it, as we heard over and over, better than anybody the last handful of years, they just handed out the rookie extensions for Chet and for Dub, for Jalen Williams, right? And they just gave SGA his Supermax MVP $360 million deal, whatever it is. I saw this tweet today, Dan. In 2 years, 26, 27, their payroll is going to be $256 million, and they're going to have like $200 million in luxury tax. Their payroll is going to be $500,000 just like that. Yeah. And so all these, the Carusos and the Dorts and all these great acquisitions that they had, they're probably going by the wayside because they're not going to be able to afford them, and they're going to have to decide, what are we going to do with all this? Because you do have to pay some of your guys. You just can't pay all of them. And that doesn't seem to me, I think it was a big overreaction to the Warriors when they spent, like $400 million to win.
That's what got this all started.
And that was such an isolated deal. But it just, I don't know if it's good. Because you don't really reward teams for doing it the right way. Like Oklahoma City, when the whole point of all these different rules the last 20 years was, if you draft well, you can pay your guys more than anybody. You have the first shot at the rookie extension. You can give them the max before anybody else can. There were all these rules to keep small market teams like Oklahoma City with their star players. And now, in the next couple of years, they're going to have some decisions to make.
Well, it's a subject we talked about maybe getting Gleeman in studio next week, and maybe it's a subject we can explore with him because, as I said, historically, you bring it up to baseball people and they lose their minds. They're going, no, we're not. This is a legitimate players union. They don't mess around. They don't curl up in the fetal position. And I'm not here to get into that debate because to me it's a different question. It's a different conversation than the one we're having today, which was sort of I guess, repeated in this particular piece where you can talk yourself out of it because of history. And you go, no, not baseball. That's not fair. The players, they've earned all this, whatever. I'm not here to say what they have or have and haven't earned. I'm really not going down that road so much as let's just talk about a different question. And that question is, when we're talking about what are sustainable models, how is this sustainable? And is it now? Maybe the baseball waited too long to go to war over this subject, and as you said, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. I don't know, but that doesn't mean it's still not viable, and still shouldn't be a legitimate conversation to have to say, well, you can ignore this and you can continue going down this road, but you are wreaking you are wreaking havoc. You are almost, I feel to a certain extent, guaranteeing your own relative destruction compared to the other sports, even with some of the warts that we've just talked about regarding the ongoing changes to the way the NBA salary cap rules indeed work.
Well, just imagine Ohio State being in the same league as Kent State right down the road, right? A MAC team against the Ohio State University. That's pretty much the discrepancy we're talking about when we talk about the Dodgers and the Marlins, the White Sox, the Rays, whoever you want to throw into that mix.
We got some text to get into via the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line at 64686. Dr. Dan's inbox at 4.
I got to fix your TV too, by the way, because
things are happening.
Baby Baguette is just...
Is he Bill Russell?
I didn't even realize this because I was late to it. He blocked the first 2 Pelican shots of the game. They went right at him.
Challenged him.
And he said, okay, block that one. And then he blocked the next one.
And he doesn't have 3 fouls?
I don't think so.
That's amazing.
So I'll fix your TV during the break.
Inbox, if you have letters for Guardsy, JG at KFAN.com. And the Big Knocker, Mayo Clinic Big Knocker, will join us at 5:02.
Fan.
The ultimate day of heavy metal is almost here. Don't miss out on Summer of Loud 2025, Somerset Amphitheater, July 11th. Performances by Parkway Drive, I Prevail, Beartooth, and more. Full show and ticket details, KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Baron J hurt his wrist again?
No, did he?
This TV is just weird. It's still not working right, but he apparently fell down again.
Oh, no.
And is holding his wrist. We're
Again?
getting Summer League updates from 801 guy. How many block shots? Is he in double digits on the blocks yet?
Let me pull up the box score here.
Talking about the Wolves' #1 draft choice for those uninitiated.
He's got 11 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 blocks. 1 steal as well.
He slowed down on the blocks then. You made it sound like he had 4 in the first 4 possessions.
He had 5 in the first 8 minutes.
Oh.
And then I think New Orleans got smart. They stopped taking it at him. Although somebody did just drive at him in transition to draw a foul.
Are we winning?
We have pulled away a little bit. Dilly just hit a 3 I saw. We're up by 10 with 5:50 to go in the third.
Shannon?
Where's Shannon? What's his line? 14 points, 7 assists. He had a nice one more extra pass to Dilly for a 3. 2 steals, 3 rebounds for Shannon. I mean, these guys should be dominating the Summer League.
Well, Shannon's like 29 years old already.
And he's played. Yeah. He's been around a while.
But then that begs the question, what's the point? Is there really much of a point of having him out there at all?
I doubt he plays much after the first couple of games.
I would be surprised. I mean, that's the way it tends to go now. Is the league's gotten smart enough to say, we'll bring him out, we'll get him a minute or 2, because the Summer League, NBA Summer League, has become a thing.
Yeah.
But then we'll shut it down quietly after a game or 2 because we do not want to be stupid about it.
I know fans aren't happy with how the season ended, but I just had a little flashback here because my TV's working and here I'm watching the game. Mm-hmm. And they just welcomed Finchy to the booth.
Did they really?
Seth Greenberg and Mark Kestisher are doing the play-by-play for ESPN2. And I just had a flashback to sitting in this chair, looking up at whoever the play-by-play guy was, Chris Webber and David Kahn, and just think about how far we've come. That Finchy, off back-to-back Western Conference Finals, has now taken the same spot on the broadcast and is talking about his club right now. I bet it's going a little bit differently than the Kahn-Webber one went.
Well, I guess it's probably illegal for us to do a live listen.
Yeah, right? We probably shouldn't, but I'm sure I can find it later, and maybe we'll pull some stuff from it.
Yeah, looks like a good crowd.
Well, yeah, they want to see Baby Baguette. They want to see Baron J.
Is he out there now or is he on the bench?
He is on the bench. I believe.
And we're up 10, 62-52, as you said. Huh. Interesting.
Did you see, by the way, where we've completely lost the plot, the ESPN tweet that I retweeted earlier today?
No.
Summer League related.
What happened now?
Hang on. Let me just find it.
Let me guess. They tried to turn it into a ESPN NBA Finals pregame show?
No, not that, but the tweet 6 hours ago.
Oh, there's Baron J. He was just in. Now he's coming to the bench.
Oh, now he's coming out?
Okay.
Cooper Flag, Bronny James, Cinema.
Oh, my God.
Will the number one pick make a statement for the Mavs against the Lakers in his first Summer League game? Bulging eyes emoji.
That's so sad. They can't help themselves. Why should we be surprised?
Cinema. My response to that was, we've lost control of cinema. Cinema has jumped the shark.
The definition of cinema is a lot broader than it used to be. Let's put it that way. That's for sure. Now look at New Orleans. They're driving to the basket at will.
Exactly
because
right.
Our big man's not in there.
Shannon, Dilly, left corner three, off the front of the rim, no good. Weak side rebound. Somebody from New Orleans I've never heard of. Here they go again. They're going right at it. Right at Shannon. Oh, good block there. Who was that?
Who was 23 with the block?
And here's the problem.
Shannon didn't block it, right? He guarded.
The NBA website doesn't have the numbers, which is really
that's
annoying.
Unfortunate.
I know. I go through this every year. They have the updated score, unlike ESPN, but they don't have the numbers.
Wasn't it Guardsy's guy, Rick Kamla? What's he referring to?
No, the con thing.
No, that wasn't
Kamla.
No, that was definitely not Kamla.
No. Do better, Meerkat.
Kamla was do better Charlotte guy. I don't think he's on NBA.
He's not
Sirius XM anymore. He's doing some other stuff.
Yes, he's doing other stuff.
Did you see, by the way? Speaking of local angle, do you remember Tim Lywicki?
Yes,
he was the first, basically,
executive
guy for the Timberwolves on the business side, right, marketing side, etc. Considered a wizard, been everywhere. He just got indicted on some pretty significant charges involving the allegations having to do with a deal, I think in Dallas, some kind of a mega business deal gone wrong. He says it's trumped up, but his name, I just saw that headline. Pro Football Talk had a headline on it just within the last day or two. So what do you think of this? This is Jake checking in via 313. The failure in TV deals for baseball is a separate issue for the state of the game. Baseball is in better condition now than it has been since the 90s. Mostly great rule changes and generational superstars. Small market teams have had plenty of success, too. Look at the Tigers, Brewers, Rays this year. Dodgers have one non-COVID World Series win. That's it. The Yankees haven't won it all in forever, but much like the English Premier League or NFL or NHL, it'll always be top-heavy and cyclical. Don't mess with it. Well, here's what I would say. I don't disagree that some of the when it comes to pace of play, long before the ball guys finally acknowledged it as being a necessity, we were on this show, and a number of those rules changes are, I think, 100% for the better. So I'm not here to say the quality of play is awful, but I'm here to say I think you need to improve in both areas. And the idea of giving more teams a greater chance to hold on to their talent at least a little longer, I don't think that gets in the way of these other rule changes that have made the game pretty good. Now, I get it. And this has been, oddly enough, my argument going back 10, 15, 20 years, that baseball was the one game where there was enough variance in performance and change in pitchers' performance from year to year that you could still be a factor even if you weren't number one in payroll. Now, the idea was to try to get to at least a decent place in payroll and then occasionally jump up when you had a good team. But the fact of the matter is the gap at some point grows so big that even if you're going to have some other teams that hang in for a period of time, the Tigers included, the chances that you're going to have sustained success, or you're going to give, again, the average fan a chance to think that his team has a real opportunity to hold on to a player because salary cap restrictions make it trickier for some of the richer teams to just go out and pluck literally almost every guy they want. To me, that would help the game. I still think you can at least consider some of those changes or need to talk about those changes. And if you don't, then I do think it becomes kind of hard to be taken seriously as a league or as a sport, even if you could point to the fact, well, the Yankees and Dodgers don't win it every year.
Right.
I just don't. I don't think that passes muster regarding the issue of like I said, having a chance to retain some players. Where baseball is obviously the one sport where those teams can literally spend as much. If they want to spend $1 billion a year, they can.
Yes,
and they're before you know it, they're going to be.
Well, just look at the Juan Soto contract, right? The most recent crazy financial windfall guy.
Yes.
15 years, $765 million for the Mets, Juan Soto. Like, that isn't good. It's great for him, and it's great for other people. They go, well, Soto got that. I don't need to make that, but right. I can be in the ballpark, no pun intended. That just, I mean, the NHL changed rules because the Parisi and Suter 13-year contracts, right? $98 million.
Correct.
15 years, $765 million. Like, how is that beneficial for anybody but the player? The one individual player. It doesn't help anybody else, and I get it. Those are the rules, but it just doesn't seem like a team that can do that should be in the same league.
It's literally playing in a different league.
Yeah,
and but the comeback to that should be well, no, you need other teams because if you don't have other teams, you don't have a league. And so it doesn't matter that you got all these you've accumulated all of this wealth. Let's make this the top of the hour pause. Dr. Dan's inbox coming up. We've got news on the march today as well. And we got the knocker, Mayo Clinic big knocker, Bill Maurice is scheduled for 5:02. If you have questions for him, don't forget the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line 64687.
Did you know using your browser in incognito mode doesn't actually protect your privacy? Take back your privacy with IPVanish VPN. Just one tap and all your data, passwords, communications, browsing history, and more will be instantly protected. IPVanish makes you virtually invisible online. Use IPVanish on all your devices, anytime you go online at home and especially on public Wi-Fi. Get IPVanish now for 70% off a yearly plan with this exclusive offer at ipvanish.com/audio.